Welcome everyone. Here we are in the book of Genesis. We're here in chapter 41. And there's 2 years that go by between the fulfillment of these dreams, the butler and the baker. And the butler was going to remember him, but the book of Jasher says God gave him the 2 years so that he would learn to lean on the Lord. So that's 2 more years to learn. Okay, and that is harmonization, totally harmonizing here between Genesis and the book of Jasher. We just looked it up to make sure. So here we are in 41, and Pharaoh has 2 dreams, and Joseph interprets them, and hey, they're both one. Those 2 dreams are one dream. In 33, he giveth Pharaoh counsel, and of course then he's advanced. So he came from the dungeon to being advanced here only under Pharaoh. He was second in command. He gets his 2 sons, though, from Potiphar's daughter. Now, I think that's ironic that he ends up getting Potiphar's daughter after being accused of this rape that he did not do, okay? He was not guilty, and ends up with these 2 sons, and blessed out of that. He says, and here the famine begins here in 41. So, that being said, you get advanced spiritually in the furnace of adversity. Is that not what we're getting today? Are we not being taught to lean on the Lord? And according to the book of Jasher, that's what Joseph was being taught by the Lord, okay? Anyway, that being said, here we are, 41, the book of Genesis, verse 1. It says, and it came to pass at the end of 2 full years that Pharaoh dreamed, and behold, he stood by the river. And behold, there came up out of the river 7 well-favored kine and fat-fleshed, and they fed in a meadow. Period. Now notice here God's holy number again, the 7. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them out of the river, ill-favored and lean-fleshed, and stood by the other kine upon the brink of the river. And the ill-favored and lean-fleshed kine did eat up the 7 well-favored and fat kine. So Pharaoh awoke. 5, and he slept and dreamed the second time. And behold, 7 ears of corn came up upon one stalk, rank and good. Okay, so that don't mean what it does today. Rank means fat in the Hebrew, according to the translators. In 6 it says, and behold, 7 thin ears, and blasted with the east wind sprang up after them. 7 and the 7 thine ears devoured the 7 rank and full ears, and Pharaoh awoke, and behold, it was a dream. And it came to pass in the morning that his spirit was troubled. And he sent and called for all the capital M magicians of Egypt, and all the wise men thereof. And Pharaoh told them his dream, and there was none that could interpret them unto Pharaoh. Period. So these wise men are occultists, folks. They're into sorcery and all forms of the ungodly wisdom of the world. 9 is a new paragraph. Then spake the chief butler unto Pharaoh, saying, I do remember my faults this day. Pharaoh was wroth with me. Now 9 was the new paragraph. In 10, Pharaoh was wroth with his servants, and put me in ward in the captain of the guard's house, both me and the chief baker. And we dreamed a dream in one night, I and he. We dreamed each man according to the interpretation of his dream. And there was with us a young man, an Hebrew, servant to the captain of the guard, and we told him, and he interpreted to us our dreams, to each man according to his dream he did interpret. And it came to pass as he interpreted to us, so it was. Me he restored unto mine office, and him he hanged. Another new paragraph in 14. Then Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. Now, in Jacer, things were a lot worse than this. Pharaoh was getting downright violent. Again, when these kings, wise men, can't do what they're told to do, the king always gets violent with them, and this was no exception. Okay, and that's in Jacer. Am I right, table people? Oh, yeah. Okay, but anyway, in 14, and Pharaoh sent and called Joseph, and they brought him hastily out of the dungeon, and he shaved himself and changed his raiment, and came in unto Pharaoh. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I have dreamed a dream, and there is none that can interpret it. And there is none that can interpret it, and I have heard say of thee that thou canst understand a dream to interpret it. And Joseph answered Pharaoh, saying, It is not in me. God shall give Pharaoh an answer of peace. So this will be settled, and you'll have peace in your heart. You'll know what's going on. That's a paraphrase. Back into the scripture, 17. And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, In my dream, behold, I stood upon the bank of the river, and behold, there came up out of the river 7 kine, fat-fleshed and well-favored, and they fed in a meadow. And behold, 7 other kine came up after them, poor and very ill-favored and lean-fleshed, such as I never saw in all the land of Egypt for badness. 20. And the lean and the ill-favored kine did eat up the first 7 fat kine. And when they had eaten them up, it could not be known that they had eaten them, but they were still ill-favored, as at the beginning. So I awoke. 22, and I saw in my dream, and behold, 7 ears came up in one stalk, full and good, period. And behold, 7 ears, withered, thin, and blasted with the east wind, sprung up after them. 24. And the thin ears devoured the 7 good ears. And I told this unto the magicians, but there was none that could declare it to me. 25 is a new paragraph. And Joseph said unto Pharaoh, the dream of Pharaoh is one. God hath shewed Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good kine are 7 years, and the 7 good ears are 7 years. The dream is one. Okay, 27. And the 7 thin and ill-favored kine that came up after them are 7 years. And the 7 empty ears blasted with the east wind shall be 7 years of famine. This is the thing which I have spoken unto Pharaoh. What God is about to do, he sheweth unto Pharaoh. Behold, there come 7 years of great plenty throughout all the land of Egypt. And there shall arise after them 7 years of famine, and all the plenty shall be forgotten in the land of Egypt. And the famine shall consume the land. And the plenty shall not be known in the land, by reason of that famine following, for it shall be very grievous. 32. And for that the dream was doubled unto Pharaoh twice. It is because the thing is established by God, and God will shortly bring it to pass. 33. Now therefore let Pharaoh look out a man, discreet and wise, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh do this, and let him appoint officers over the land, and take up the 5th part of the land of Egypt in the 7 plenteous years. And let them gather all the food of those good years that come, and lay up corn under the hand of Pharaoh, and let them keep food in the cities. And that food shall be for store to the land against the 7 years of famine, which shall be in the land of Egypt, that the land perish not through the famine. Okay, so this being said, this is very wise counsel, and this was tested, his authenticity, his wise men and everything. They were questioning Joseph's credibility, and he passed that test there. Those are the details that are in Jacer that are not here. So you can go to Jacer for that test. 37. And the thing was good. This is a new paragraph. And the thing was good in the eyes of Pharaoh, and in the eyes of all his servants. And Pharaoh said unto his servants, Can we find such a one as this is, a man whom the Spirit of God is? ? And this got questioned also because of his not being able to speak all these languages. And that's in Jacer. And an angel came down and schooled him and gave him the ability to speak all the languages. and I'm talking about Joseph and this angel sent from God here so that he could do this. Because the wise men were saying, no, 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 we can't let some Hebrew do this that can't. See, there were 70 steps up to the throne of Pharaoh, and how can we allow someone that can't speak all these languages? Anyway, that's all in Jasher also. Anyway, in 38, and Pharaoh said unto his servants, can we find such a one as this is, a man in whom the Spirit of God is? And Pharaoh said unto Joseph, forasmuch as God hath shewed thee all this, there is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. Only in the throne will I be greater than thou. So he's come a long way out of the dungeon, hasn't he? 41, and Pharaoh said unto Joseph, see, I have set thee over all the land of Egypt. And Pharaoh took off his ring from his hand, and put it upon Joseph's hand, and arrayed him in vestures of fine linen, and put a gold chain about his neck. Okay, the chain is like it's a signet, it shows your authority, and also the ring is the ring of power. It can stamp. It can stamp and make law. Okay, in 43, and he made him to ride in the second chariot which he had. And they cried before him, bow the knee, and he made him ruler over all the land of Egypt. And we got a big expose of that. Oh, how he was paraded around Egypt there and all that. Lots of details there in Jasher again. 44, and Pharaoh said unto Joseph, I am Pharaoh, and without thee shall no man lift up his hand or foot in all the land of Egypt. 45, and Pharaoh called Joseph's name Zaphenath Paanah, and he gave him to wife Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On. And Joseph went out over all the land of Egypt. Okay, On is one of their names for their god, is it? Yeah, On. So he was a big time occult priest, and here he is having children from the daughter. How about that? All right, and 46 is a new paragraph. It's also in parentheses here at the beginning. It says, and Joseph was 30 years old when he stood before Pharaoh, king of Egypt. There's the parentheses end. And Joseph went out from the presence of Pharaoh and went throughout all the land of Egypt. 47, in the 7 plenteous years the earth brought forth by handfuls. And he gathered up all the food of the 7 years which were in the land of Egypt, and laid up the food in the cities. The food of the field which was round about every city laid he up in the same. 49, and Joseph gathered corn as the sand of the sea, very much, until he left numbering, for it was without number. Okay, and 50, and unto Joseph were born 2 sons before the years of famine came, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphar, priest of On, bare unto him. 51, and Joseph called the name of the firstborn Manasseh, for God he said he, hath made me forget all my toil and all my father's house. And according to the translators, it means forgetting. 52, in the name of the second called he Ephraim, for God hath caused me to be fruitful in the land of my affliction. And according to the translators, Ephraim means fruitful. All right, 53, new paragraph. And the 7 years of plentifulness that was in the land of Egypt were ended. And the 7 years of dearth began to come, according as Joseph had said. And the dearth was in all lands, but in all the land of Egypt there was bread. And when all the land of Egypt was famished, the people cried to Pharaoh for bread. And Pharaoh said unto all the Egyptians, Go unto Joseph, what he saith to you, do. 56, and the famine was over all the face of the earth. And Joseph opened all the storehouses and sold unto the Egyptians, and the famine waxed sore in the land of Egypt. 57, and all countries came into Egypt to Joseph to buy corn, because that the famine was so sore in all lands. Okay, now, the people that sell the storable foods have always went to this, okay, to sell their foods, and they got a point here. And I'm not knocking that. If people want to store up for the hard times, that's a good thing. Or if you want to just lean on the Lord, because we have plenty of examples where saints were taken care of, regardless of what was going on across the face of the earth, across the firmament of the earth. He can feed you and I. As long as we have the faith, he will move, right? But the fact is that the storable foods people, they use this part of it, and that's okay. To say store up food, because you'll give up everything under the sun if you're starving, and they have a point there. So no matter what, whether you believe in storing food or just leaning on the Lord, if the Lord's put in your heart to have storable food, fine. I'm not knocking that. I'm just saying that they go to this part of the Bible to help sell their storable foods. So we have all that. And this is moving along through time really quick here. As you can see, we've moved through those first 7 years. You'd think it was 7 days, but it's not. It's 7 years. So here we go to the 10 sons that are coming in to buy food, and there's a lot more details in Jasher about this. So with that in mind, we'll just pick that up in 42, the number of months in the Great Tribulation.